Instagram is trying to give parents more control over their teenagers' accounts. Instagram teen accounts are being rolled out across Canada today for kids 16 and under. Some of the new built-in protections include automatically being placed into private accounts, messaging restrictions, and content limits. Parents will also be able to see who their teen is messaging. The settings can only be changed with a parent's permission. Well, joining us now to chat more about the new features is Mohit Rajan's media consultant at thinkstart.ca. We appreciate your time as always. I can imagine that a lot of these big tech companies are under a lot of pressure from not only governments, but for parents to add more of these kind of safety features. What are your thoughts on this, and what do you think the results will be?
Yeah, you make some great points. In some cases, some parents are thinking, why hasn't this happened sooner? Why have we not been in a situation where these social media companies have these safeguards for kids, especially under the age of 18, and if not under the age of 15, in order for them to feel comfortable using social media like is Instagram in this case. But we are in a situation now, Jamie, where the pressure is on. And many of these companies like Meta, which owns Instagram, they have to comply to a bunch of set of rules that are happening around Europe and in different places in the world, or they face serious fines, or they will be banned. So these parental controls do come at a time where a lot of people are discussing the actual validity and need for social media amongst a certain age group. Obviously, this is an age group that gravitates towards other social media platforms. So it'll be interesting to see if parental control is the actual factor in keeping Instagram legit right now.
We're about 20 years into the advancement of social media. Maybe 10 years ago, we didn't really know about the harmful effects. I think if you speak to a lot of parents now, 20 years into it, they would say a lot of the stuff on their phones is just poison and toxic to their kids. I'm wondering, do you think that this is the first step in a direction of kind of more parental oversight over their kids' technology?
I think it's a little too late when it comes down to having parents necessarily be able to police certain social media that their kids are on. Different kids are on social media apps at different stages in their life, and they're not exactly waiting for people to come into play, for the security to come into play for something like Instagram in order for them to continue to use it. What you're alluding to is something that's very important as well. The data is going to come out very soon about just how addictive social media has been over the past 2 decades and some of the harm that it's contributed to. When you look at the parental control that's needed when it comes down to some of these social media apps, it's not always proactive. It's this reactive mess because we realize that kids are being exploited, they're being messaged and solicited, and they're actually being targeted to when it comes to marketing as well.
I'm curious, though, what are your thoughts on, for some parents out there who might be worried about being a helicopter parent, that, by essentially, the kid knowing that their parent is kind of hovering over above and watching what they do. I can imagine that also might cause some friction with the parent and their child. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a very good point. I think social media is a matter of culture for a lot of people in their houses. So no, I don't think that many people are begging for some more control on their own social media accounts. If they're under the age of 18, they'll find another app to use when they want to speak to their friends and discuss things. The problem right now that I'm seeing from a parent standpoint is there's no universal rule on how these social media apps are supposed to be used in everyday life. So for example, if kids are missing out on an education aspect because they're not on Instagram, that's a totally separate problem than whether their data is being sold and misused. So the ongoing conversations, unfortunately, continue to be reactive when it comes to apps like Instagram. Yes, we need more protection when it comes down to having kids online. Yes, parents want to know exactly who they're communicating with, but we cannot wait for Instagram to just come out with these products every so often to ensure that safety is at the heart of what they're delivering.
Mohit Rajan's media consultant at thinkstart.ca. We always appreciate your perspective. Thank you.
My pleasure, Jamie. Take care.